I don't know when Aaron Rodgers is coming back. He's trying to make a point. It doesn't matter how old he is. He believes that he could make an appearance sometime this year and come back and be a big part of the Jets' run. I don't know if that's possible. We all know how long it takes for an Achilles to heal. And usually for a guy over the age of 35, it takes 12 months to heal. But we have seen this before. We have seen guys like Cam Akers come back after 6 months. Is Cam Akers the same running back that he once was? No, but Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback. He stands in the pocket and makes throws. He didn't throw out his arm. He didn't hurt his shoulder. He didn't tear his rotator cuff. Aaron Rodgers, all he needs to do is make sure that he can protect that leg of his. And if he can protect that leg, he can come back. What bothers me right now is losing Elijah Vera-Tucker, knowing that that right side could still put him in position to get hurt. Dwayne Brown could come back. You move Dwayne Brown to the right side. Dwayne Brown wasn't good at the left tackle position. That was one of the reasons why Aaron Rodgers got hurt. It is half Dwayne Brown's fault. It's also Aaron Rodgers' fault because he didn't throw the ball away when he had the chance to. Could Aaron Rodgers come back this year? Yes. Do I believe Aaron Rodgers is going to come back this year? No. And the reason why is I don't know if the Jets are a playoff team yet. I don't care if they're 3-3. They ended the season with 7 wins when they were 5-2 at one point. Do I trust that the Jets are going to be ready for the second half of the season and make a run with Zach Wilson? No. I needed to see Zach Wilson play with a real offensive coordinator. Nathaniel Hackett, he's helped Blake Bortles. He's helped grow Aaron Rodgers' talent. Back-to-back MVPs when Nathaniel Hackett was the offensive coordinator in Green Bay. We know what Zach Wilson is. He's an incompetent quarterback that is scared to getting hit. Every time there's a pass rusher that gets behind the line of scrimmage, he's running backwards. And then he puts himself in harm's way. He puts his team in harm's way. This kid has no understanding on the way the game is played. Has he made some good throws? Yes. Has he thrown the ball away as much as we've seen from last year? No. But that doesn't mean he's having a good season. I thought he was horrible. The only reason why the Jets beat the Philadelphia Eagles is because of the defense. Because they had 3 interceptions and 1 forced fumble. 4 turnovers. You have to win the game. And the Jets almost lost that game. If Aaron Rodgers can come back and he is 85% healthy and he's going to help you make a run in the playoffs, but if you don't have a chance, then you don't bring him back. Get him ready for next year. Taking chances for a quarterback that's 39 years old, who's going to be 40 before the season ends, could absolutely affect them too. You also want to keep him under that 65% of playing time. If he plays 65% of the playing time, the Jets lose that first-round draft pick to the Green Bay Packers. So that puts the Jets in harm's way too. There's a lot of things that the Jets have to look at before they decide to bring Aaron Rodgers back. Do the Jets believe they're good enough? If they make the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers, with the team that they have, losing Elijah Vera-Tucker hurts them. You cannot put this guy in harm's way where you can lose him now for good. He could be done and his career could be over if he gets hit again. I want to get into the Giants, and a lot of people believe that the Giants got screwed. The final play of the game, it was holding. It was a penalty. Is the NFL going to throw the Giants a bone if the Bills are one of the favorites to come out of the AFC? No. Even if the Giants won that game. Are the Giants a playoff contender? They're not. Are they going to win in their conference? They're not. They're the worst team in their conference right now. And that's not saying much because Washington is right behind them. I think Saquon Barkley hid the deficiencies of that offensive line. He had 24 carries for 93 yards. He had no touchdowns, but he was averaging almost 4 yards a touch. That's over the league average. And that's what you expect your running back to have. As bad as the offensive line is, Saquon Barkley is that dominant. And if you have a weapon like that on the field, it can hide the deficiencies of the offensive line. And you saw that the offensive line actually played half decent in the game because you had a guy that you can run the ball with. Breida is not a guy that you can run the ball with or trust throughout the season. You have a guy like Saquon Barkley, the same guy that you decided not to extend in the offseason, who will be a free agent this offseason. Stop it with the Giant fans with Tyrod Taylor, that you would rather Tyrod Taylor over Daniel Jones because Tyrod Taylor was 24 for 36 and 200 yards. He had no touchdowns, and he didn't throw any interceptions because they didn't put him in harm's way because they were still running the ball, and that has been the problem for the Giants and Daniel Jones since Saquon Barkley's been hurt. If Saquon Barkley was in that offense for the last 4 weeks, the Giants probably have 3 wins. He changes the offense. The calls of the referees were horrible, and at the end of the game, there's a lot of questions, and there will be a lot of questions throughout the season and going into the playoffs. Do you trust the referees in certain games to make the right calls? The Giants should have won that game, and I don't think the call was missed because the referee was standing right behind him when he was pulling on his arm when he was trying to catch the ball. The NFL needs to look at these things and make the calls to be fair. Don't call a penalty for the Kansas City Chiefs when it's not a penalty just so they can win the game just because they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid running that team.